The updated version of the Funkin.avi mod just dropped, and in this video, I want to give you the backstory of the original mod and some of the characters that we covered last time, and I also want to involve the new characters that we get to see in the free play as well. Fair warning, all of these characters have very dark backstories. Now, normally the Mouse AVI's mods are very dark and they have a backstory that consists of Minnie going away and cheating on Mickey, his friends usually either abandon him or they end up dying in some horrific way, and he usually ends up going crazy because all he does is work for the kids and his fans. And of course, since he doesn't have anything of substance in his life, he usually breaks down. And of course, this is what leads him to want to unalive himself, which leads to his name, of course. Now, this version of Mouse AVI is a bit different though, because as we see in the cutscene, he is working very hard, but the reason that he's working so hard is so that he can give Minnie everything that she wants in life. And when Minnie confronts him about how hard he's working, instead of being understanding and trying to rationalize with his wife, Mickey ends up lashing out at her because she interrupted him and she doesn't seem to understand that he's doing all of this for her. Now, him verbally lashing out was bad, but the thing that really makes Minnie leave is when Mickey decides to slap her. Without another word, Minnie basically leaves and she never comes back to Mickey. Now, Mickey does understand that what he did was wrong, and we even see in the mod that he stays up all night thinking about the mistake that he made. But this is also where it starts to get a little bit weird. Mickey starts to notice that he doesn't hear any of the normal sounds that he will be hearing during the day. Obviously, it makes sense that his house would be quiet because there's nobody there but him, but he also doesn't hear any dogs barking, any birds chirping, cars going by. It's completely silent. And this is where Mickey goes out on the street to start walking, and he realizes that he's just going in an endless loop. This scene is actually very reminiscent of the classic Mouse AVI video where we see Mickey just aimlessly walking down the street. There's a couple of really messed up parts about this loop as well. The first part is that he's been walking this loop alone for 3 months, which is what actually leads him to lose his sanity. And the only slight reprieve that he gets is when Boyfriend actually stumbles into his universe. This is basically the first time Mickey has actually communicated with somebody in 3 months, but it's already too late. His mind is too far gone. But the reason that he's actually in this loop is because when he slapped Minnie, she actually didn't just leave peacefully and let it go. She is so upset and disgusted with Mickey that she actually makes a deal with the devil to curse Mickey's soul, and this is basically why he will forever be walking in this endless loop. Now, the next character that I want to talk about is going to be Hunter Goofy, and this is from the free play song. Now, apparently the backstory for Donald and Goofy here is that one day Goofy and Donald were actually hunting and Donald split up from Goofy. Now, Goofy wasn't paying attention, so he didn't actually see Donald leave, and as Goofy was hunting, he heard something approaching from the woods. So without even thinking about it, he took his shotgun and just pulled the trigger. What he didn't know was that he actually ends up shooting Donald. Now, after realizing what he did, he seems to have some type of mental break because he believes that it wasn't his fault, it was the world's fault, everyone else's fault that Donald is dead. So he basically plans to take out everybody else because they're responsible for Donald's death, which is why he's called Hunter Goofy, because he's about to go hunt everybody. Next up on our list is a very creepy character named Mr. Smiles, and he has an interesting, very dark backstory. Now, Mr. Smiles used to be your average normal dude on the surface, but when you peer a bit too closely, he was a bit strange. He would talk to himself in low whispers and say some pretty off-putting things. He was also a dentist and would pretend to slip so that he could cut the insides of his patient's mouth and claim it was an accident. He also had a very short temper, which means that he would rage very easily. Although there were a couple of things that could calm him down though. He loved the old school Mickey Mouse cartoons, and he used to have a Mickey plushie that he would carry around with him all the time when he was a boy. And strangely, even though he is now a grown man, he still carries the toy with him wherever he goes. Now somehow, Mr. Smiles was able to get a wife, but he was very neglectful to her. And in order to get back at him, she decided to cheat on him, which was a huge mistake. Now I assume she wanted to get caught on some level because she tells the guy to come over to her house and allows him to stay long enough for Mr. Smiles to get home from work and catch them. And when he does actually see them, he is furious. Mr. Smiles and his wife started to get into a big argument, and during the argument, his wife actually started getting physical. She even pushes him into a wall and starts to degrade him verbally. And this seems to be when Mr. Smiles actually snaps. He grabs a metal rod from the wall and unalives his wife. I won't go into detail, but it was very bloody. Now, once his wife was gone, Mr. Smiles actually felt great. He felt as though he had finally found his life's calling. And needless to say, the guy who had the affair with his wife did not make it out of the house. With his newfound passion, he decided to start kidnapping people and then taking them to an abandoned house where he would use his dental tools to inflict pain on them. Now, I'll let your imagination run wild with this one, but we all know how much the dentist can hurt even when you are numb and the dentist isn't trying to hurt you. Imagine if they really wanted to cause you pain. Now, Mr. Smiles was able to get away with these crimes for a few years, but was eventually caught and sentenced to be unalived. But even when his physical body was gone, his spirit was so foul and restless that he wouldn't stay gone. He came back to the world taking the form of Mickey Mouse, but with teeth all over his body. Now he wanders the earth looking for more smiles to take and add to his collection. Now, this psychopath does have one redeeming quality, and that is that he will only go after people who are 15 years or older, meaning that if you're younger than that, he will actually leave you alone. If you are under the age of 15, put "I'm safe" down in the comments. And if you're 15 or older, just put a skull emoji down in the comments. People who didn't make it this far into the video will have no idea what you guys are talking about. Now, a sad fact that goes along with this is that when he was alive, he actually really loved kids, and those were the only people that he would not harm. And he actually thought that he was going to have children one day with his now ex-wife, but obviously she cheated on him and ruined that fantasy. The next character that we have on our list is going to be called Relapse Mouse, and this character is interesting because he's actually from a creepypasta game by the same name. Now, unlike the regular Mouse AVI, this version of Mickey goes crazy because one of his best friends named Daisy Duck actually unalives herself. After she does this, Mickey and some of his friends end up going into a deep depression. One day, Mickey gets up and decides to go for a walk, but he ends up taking a shotty with him, and I think you know what he does with it. Instead of wanting to harm himself, he basically wants to harm other people. A very dark game if the mod alone doesn't give it away. The last piece of lore I want to cover in this mod is actually the Malfunction song, and this is the one where we see the black cube that's battling against Boyfriend. Now, if I wouldn't have spoken to the developer, I would have had no idea about the lore for this one, so shout out to Hockey for actually speaking with me. But basically, this cube is Mickey. Apparently, Mickey fell into a hole that basically took him to a different universe where the world is basically pixelated. And it seems like he was in there for so long that he slowly started turning into this pixelated creature that eventually just turned into one big cube. Now, apparently, Boyfriend is just wandering around like he normally does, and he ends up finding the same hole, and of course he jumps in because it's Boyfriend. Now, when Mickey realizes that Boyfriend is in this universe, he just assumes that Boyfriend is the reason that he is in so much pain, the reason that he is this pixelated monster now. So Mickey goes after Boyfriend. And the developer made sure to tell me that this is why the song is so hard. Mickey basically believes that this is all Boyfriend's fault, so he's trying super hard to kill him, aka this is why this song is ridiculous. Now that we covered all the main characters that are in this mod, I also want to talk about the fact that this mod is going to continue to update, and there's a couple of characters that we know for sure are going to be in the upcoming updates. A few of which are going to be Photo Negative Mickey, Ethereal Snake Mickey, and also White Noise Mickey. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video where I go over the new Wednesday Infidelity mod, or check out this video where I went over the new Minecraft mod. Thank you for watching, subscribe today to become a member of the Orseofkorse, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Peace, peace.